Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just realized I was putting a video together all morning. I've been putting this video together, and then I had to drop my son off somewhere, but I just realized the market has got a lot of green. So let's take a look at what we're looking at. We've got 245 billion in here. XRP is up 5.36%. You've got one thing to note is Bitcoin SV is down. Remember, Bitcoin SV went up a bunch this week. It's down 13% while a lot of the others are up. And here's the reason why. Is this article right here from Crypto Moon. Bitcoin SV drops 15% as new evidence confirms CSW, Craig is right, does not have the 1.1 Bitcoin in 1.1, I think it was, is it million Bitcoin? I don't remember. But anyway, he says he doesn't have the private keys. Now, who knows what the truth is with this guy? But the point is that he says he doesn't have them and can't give them to the court or whatever. So now I also wanted to show you, let's see right here. Also wanted to show you this. This is Fiat leak. Look at the flood going into Asia over this way. Also, I wanted you to notice, as I've mentioned, the percentages on Fiat leak also always seem to be ahead of the percentages on CoinMarketCap, worthy of note. But we've got this thing has, XRP's gone as high as 25 cents on Fiat leak this morning. I've seen it, been watching it a little bit. Okay. First thing I got here is from XRP Wizard. Let's see what he's got me. If we can get this. Oh, I've shown you this type of thing before, but he sent it to me, and it's always worthy of showing you for anybody who's watching who's never seen this before. This is a visualization. You can go see this at visualcapitalist.com. All of the world's wealth in one visualization. So I wanted to show you this to you because one thing that I've told you the other day is that I've been told by people that the money that's going to flow through XRP is, quote, all the money in the world, in quotes, several times, all the money in the world. Well, look at all of the money in the world. Total wealth by country, United States, 105.99 trillion, China, 63.83 trillion, Japan, 24.99 trillion. I just wanted you to see visually what all the money in the world looks like. Pretty interesting. Okay, then there was this. I got this from XRP Wizard as well. This is just an article about how since the markets have been moving, you're seeing a lot of whale activity. Here's some of the movement. 3,000 Bitcoin transferred from OKX to an unknown wallet. Then they've got traders are also following this. 27 million XRP has been transferred from BitHum to an unknown wallet. So anyway, you always see a lot of movement like that when the markets pick up. Sergeant Obi-Wan sent me a really good thing, and I'm going to let you watch this because now you can watch videos on my channel. For those of you that don't remember what you're watching here, this is Glenn Hutchins. Glenn Hutchins is a board member with the Digital Currency Group. Digital Currency Group is invested in Ripple. Remember, Digital Currency Group is Barry Silbert. So watch this.
Has to suffer. Crypto. Another one of your interests, and,
right.
and you've kind of gotten into that, but we've just seen a huge meltdown over the past 12, 15 months. Are you still a believer?
So if we'd been sitting here together in 2002, we probably were. You would have asked me, the internet. We've just seen this huge meltdown in the last 12 to 15 months. Are you still a believer? Right?
Yep.
And so the answer is yes. Now the digital currency solution is the most important technological advance I've seen since the internet. It has the capacity to do lots more, but it certainly has the capacity to enable us to move anything of value around the world at the speed of light at no cost. It has three components. It has a token of value, which is called the Bitcoin. It has a accounting mechanism, which is called the blockchain. But the most important piece, which is one that people aren't focusing on, is the protocol, the underlying protocol by which we agree to conduct these transactions. So you use a series of protocols every day, and you don't even think about them. You don't think about the internet protocol. You don't think about the simple mail technology protocol. You don't think about the file transfer protocol. You don't think about the high text translation protocol. I can go through them, right? You just make use of the technology, and the protocols make it work. The people who really understand what's going on with digital currencies understand that putting these protocols in place, the blockchain protocol, the Ethereum protocol, the Ripple protocol, and then enabling those protocols to cause transactions to occur. And then those transactions can be defined very broadly as not just moving things of value, but anything that's got an information content, is extraordinarily transformative. The focus on the value of the token is distracting and uninformative.
So maybe now's a good time to invest in it.
Okay, so he's talking about the protocol. What's important is the protocol, and he sits on the board of the digital currency group who invests in Ripple. Well, let me show you something about Ripple. Most of you listening know this, but some of you don't. Implementing the interledger protocol in Ripple. This is from October 6, 2015. Ripple is thrilled to announce, to introduce the interledger protocol for efficient payments across payment networks. Time and time again, we've heard from banks that Ripple changes the game, providing banks the ability to transact directly, instantly, with certainty. We've also consistently heard from our bank partners two primary wish list items. First, as we saw with the introduction of the UK's faster payment system, more efficient payments lead to dramatic increase in overall transaction volumes. Anyway, I'm not going to read through all that, but I do want to read you this part right here. ILP, Interledger Protocol, will also enhance the reach and impact of the Ripple Consensus Ledger, which serves as the root ledger for the digital currency XRP. Digital currencies continue to play a critical role in the burgeoning Internet of Value. As always, our focus is to make XRP the best bridge asset for market makers providing cross-currency liquidity. And then it says, visit here if you want to see the interledger. This is what Ripple created. They literally created the interledger protocol. So there you go. Be excited. Be very excited. This is from Leonidas. FinNexus to use XRPL to issue tokenized assets. So now we've got Sologenic, and now we've got another one. I'm sure there will be thousands before it's over. But this FinNexus is going to use XRP. He's got the, here's their thing. It's an article from Medium, I guess. We could turn to a few networks to create PCAP that could connect different digital currencies, including Ripple and XRP. So we will try to use Interledger to create a payment channel for FNX. We will also use XRP Ledger to issue tokenized assets that could be exchanged by stable coins on XRP. And then we will make this function to be a part of assets producing protocol and assets trading protocol. There you go, folks. Okay. Now, yesterday I was talking about Mike Novogratz, and I'm always scratching my head because he's such a brilliant guy. And I was talking about how he won't ever mention Ripple or XRP, but he'll mention Bitcoin and all this. So this guy, Scott, at SF_crypto1, sends me a direct message, and he says, you need to watch this video, and you'll get a better understanding of where Mike Novogratz is coming from. So I go and I watch this video. Now, here's what I want to tell you about this video. If you want someone to lay out for you in very simple terms, and he's a guy that was at Goldman Sachs, this guy's plugged in, he's a billionaire, very brilliant guy. If you want to get a really good grasp, a 1 hour grasp of what has happened in blockchain, what it's about, and what is going to happen and where this is all going, go watch this video. It's a great video to watch. But I will tell you, in 1 hour, it's basically a 1 hour video. He talks about Bitcoin. He talks about Ethereum. He talks about EOS. He talks about just about every major digital asset. But what does he not talk about? He does not talk about Ripple or XRP. And I don't buy it for a second that he does not know what's going on with XRP. Do not buy it. So in other words, Scott had sent me this thinking that maybe I would get a better understanding of where he's coming from. I'm even more baffled by why he won't talk about XRP at this point. And it reminded me, let's talk about some other guys that won't say unless they're asked specifically about it, they will not talk about Ripple or XRP. And these are guys that are in the know and or investors in Ripple and XRP. Here's a couple more. And I'm saying this for some of you well, first, let me show you. This is Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Crypto Index Fund. So here you've got a guy who's 21% of this index fund that is with his asset management company, is at 21% of it is in XRP, but the guy will not say Ripple or XRP, knowing that he is an investor in Ripple. He was an early investor in Ripple, and he will not talk about XRP unless you ask him. And he will, I showed you a video the other day, he literally will act like he is totally confused as to why it would go up in value. Well, if he's so confused about why XRP would go up in value, why would he include it in his crypto index fund? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me show you something else that doesn't make sense. This is Tim Draper. Tim Draper, remember, he's the guy that's always wearing the Bitcoin tie. All he'll talk about is Bitcoin. He'll talk about Ripple or XRP if you ask him, but he will not bring it up otherwise. Well, Tim Draper, this is Chris Larson's Wikipedia page. Let's go down here. Chris Larson started a company called the Prosper Marketplace. Look at this right here. The company had received a total of $74.5 million in funding from investors such as Jim Breyer, Tim Draper, who's right here wearing his Bitcoin tie. So Tim Draper is very well aware of, and I don't know, he's probably an investor in Ripple if I had to bet. I can't prove that. I'm not sure of that, but I would imagine it wouldn't surprise me at all. But you can't convince me for a second that Tim Draper does not know all about Ripple and XRP, but he will not say it unless he's asked. He'll talk about Bitcoin. By the way, in that Michael Novogratz video that I just showed you that you should go watch, Michael Novogratz talks all about Bitcoin and talks about how the technology is nothing. Basically, he says, yes, it is going to be a store of value, but the technology it's not going to be used for anything. The technology is already old and no good. I mean, he basically comes out and says it. Okay. So, I mean, there you go. All right. And then there's this guy. Now, I've already gotten the accusation here. This first comment, what I did this morning is I retweeted this Barry Silbert tweet because I had already planned to make this point about all these guys that won't talk about Ripple and XRP in this video. Of course, I immediately get one of these guys that's, oh, you're just starting hype because the market's up. I had not even seen the market when I started to plan what I was saying here, what I was going to talk about here. I did not tweet this out this morning because now the market's up, Barry Silbert, and what do you think now? That's not why I tweeted this. I tweeted this because I was trying to go back and find, I knew Barry Silbert had tweeted about XRP in the past, and I wanted to find those to make the point that I was going to make about how these guys just won't talk about it. Well, this was a dialogue that he had going on back in January of 2020. Okay. I'm sorry. It wasn't January of 2020. That's me tweeting it. What about now, Barry Silbert? That's what I said to him. This was from July 16th, 2019. He was responding in this series of people are asking, why don't you ever talk about Ripple or whatever. He says Ripple, and this is the same line. This is the same kind of line that you hear over and over from all these guys. Ripple, the company, is our largest investment. XRP is not on our conviction list of holdings, and he thinks it's important to put in parentheses yet. super bullish on the company, neutral on the token as of now. Now, this is a theme that the reason this doesn't jive with me is because you don't hear any of the Ripple executives talking this way. They would never talk this way. And yet the guy who admits he's the largest, his largest investment in Ripple, the company. And then we've seen in the past, we've also, and I think it was him who admitted that someone had asked him, isn't your investment in Ripple, isn't that the same? Don't you have an equivalent, just by virtue of owning Ripple, you're also in essence an owner in XRP. And he admitted it. And it may have been in this same thread. I don't remember. But so this is what he says in 2019. But look at what he says in 2016. Bitcoin equals digital gold. This is September 15th, 2016. Bitcoin equals digital gold. Ripple XRP equals Swift 2.0. Not Ripple, the company that he's majorly bullish on, but no, he includes XRP in that. Ethereum Classic, and he goes through all these. Now, you telling me, I was there in 2016, and I am 1,000 times more bullish on XRP today, now that I've seen all of the progress they've made, now that there's actual commercial use of XRP now that MoneyGram is commercially using XRP. Are you telling me that Barry Silbert in 2016, he's obviously bullish here. You're telling me that he was bullish on XRP in 2016, but he's not bullish yet in 2019? Baloney. I don't buy it. I'm not buying that. You can sell that to someone else. I think that these guys they have gone dark on XRP intentionally. I think they're all dark on it for a reason. I think they all know behind the scenes what's going on and what's going to happen. You couldn't sell me on this BS for $1 million. No way, no how. It doesn't make any sense. And when it doesn't make any sense in your gut, most of the time it's just not so. And I'm sorry, but Barry Silbert, it just ain't so. All right. XRP Crypto Wolf, U.S. Senator Nathan Dahm from Oklahoma proposed creating a state-chartered financial institution to handle cryptocurrency used by government agencies. He wants to provide infrastructure to work on crypto and blockchain. The bill's being introduced on February the 3rd. All right. I've been making my videos long because there's so much good information right now. I'm going to try to speed through the rest of this. Michael at VAL5 links. A nor'easter is fast approaching. You want to talk about something that throws up red flags, folks. The U.S. Treasury, facing $1 trillion deficit, is bringing back the 20-year bond. It last issued in 1986. These guys are getting desperate now, folks. All right. And then there's this, Matthew Liney, Visa. I think I missed this the other day. Visa XRP enabled, set to launch VTS this month. Here's what it is. Visa, the world's largest digital payment platform, Visa is to launch its blockchain-based Visa token service, would be institution, and it's estimated that Visa will process a combined e-commerce volume of $1 trillion with this service. I don't think I need to say much more about that. And then X-Men XRP at XRP 33. This is an article I'm not going to go into. The Financial Action Task Force holds global forum to discuss crypto supervision. The task force, over 50 delegations involved in crypto supervision, recently gathered. I think we know where all that's going to. Okay, and then there's this from Stewart, XRP Stewart, World Economic Forum Davos 2020, January 21st to 24th. Speakers include Donald Trump and Christine Lagarde. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple, not mentioned in their program. Brad featured participant on a panel-sponsored session in Davos. Don't expect him speaking with Trump and Lagarde on camera. I'll bet you won't either. And then I just wanted to show you, if you want to check out the World Economic Forum that's going to be next week, you can go to weforum.org if you want to see this, and you can hit on Davos 2020. World Economic Forum annual meeting, and it shows you some of their speakers. This is that girl about climate change, and then you've got Christine Lagarde, Donald Trump, and I think it's Angela Merkel is how you say that, but it talks about a lot of the different topics if you want to go check that out. Then there was this Bloomberg article, over 100 billionaires are descending on Davos next week. Brad Garlinghouse, I think, being one of them. If he's not a billionaire now, he's close. Then this is a Galgatron tweet. He is so right about this. I mentioned something about this the other day. Be prepared. Ripple is going to get hit with frivolous lawsuit after frivolous lawsuit, all attempting to spread FUD about their future. This latest one is a joke. He's exactly right. This is the patent lawsuit. I had someone email or direct message me. I won't mention a name. I don't think if he wants his name mentioned, but he said he believed that part of the reason Ripple wanted David Schwartz is because he had the patents from early on. If you remember, he filed a patent like in the 1980s for it wasn't called blockchain technology, but anyway, I just wanted to make that point. But Galgatron is so right. When it's being flashed on the screen that you're worth $10 billion as a company, just go. That's what plaintiff attorneys are looking for. I know they sell their clients on how they're wanting to go help their client who slipped on a banana in Publix or whatever, but no, they care about the deep pockets, and that's what they go for. And so, yes, you're going to see lawsuits. That's how the world works. Because especially when you're going to be a company that puts a dent in the universe, the lawsuits will be there. Now, speaking of big money, you want to see Chris Larson cringe? I couldn't believe that I know that Ripple has a group of lawyers that before they have interviews with anybody, I couldn't believe that they let Chris Larson get on. This guy basically is trying to make a major advertisement of the fact that Chris Larson is a billionaire and all this. And the guy's name is literally the name of his handle is the $1 Billion Secret by Raphael Badzig or whatever you say his name. But you can see how uncomfortable Chris Larson is while this guy's talking about how, oh yes, this guy's a billionaire. He was on the Forbes, whatever. And I know that is not Chris Larson's style at all. So anyway, it was kind of cringeworthy, but you got to go watch. In fact, hey, you can see videos on here now.
From San Francisco today, I have with me a very special guest, Chris Larson. You know Chris probably as the founder of Ripple, but Chris is also an extremely successful entrepreneur, has created 3 companies, 2 of them multi-billion-dollar companies. And with Ripple 2 years ago, he was ranked as number 5 on the Forbes list of billionaires, meaning the 5th.
I'm not going to play any more of that, but poor Chris Larson looks like he wants to just bury his head in his hands on that. I think Chris Larson's a pretty humble guy. Chinu Patel at Chinu Patel 29 sent me this. Good morning. This is one of those things you get at a Chinese restaurant. Your financial gains in life are about to begin. And then there is this from Love for Crypto. Save the date, the 31st of January. He's going to be interviewing John McAfee. So we all need to tune into that. That ought to be good. And then finally, I want to end with this quote. This is a Will Rogers quote. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like. And that is so true. I have found that to be so true. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. Thank you for listening.